unless everything goes right, will win the game, but I don't think it will. So I'll say a loss for that. And then the Nets and Grizzlies are just lost franchises. The Nets are obviously, I don't know when they're going to win the game next. The Nets are so bad. You have the team assist leader is Michael Porter Jr., which is unreal for the Nets. I know, right?
Dom, I got to stop you. I'm sorry. Dom, I got to stop you. Breaking news here. Sauce Gardner's traded. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the FTB podcast. I'm your host, Chris Nagulik. Alongside my co-host, Dom Savino, we will be discussing the week that was. The Jets didn't lose on Sunday, so that's good news. But the Giants did. The NFL trade deadline is over at 4 p.m. today, so we will keep an eye on it as we go. The Mets and Yankees officially begin their offseasons, while a couple of Knicks players are questioning their role on the team. We will be assessing that harrowing topic in a bit. But first, Dom, how was your weekend?
Yeah, it was good. I mean, it was good, worked, made good money, but obviously the Giants losing is not really a big surprise. Like I said, I was talking to you before about it before we just went on air, that I did a big 180. So everyone has to tune in to what I have to say about the Giants. But other than that, yeah, I mean, work's good and life's good. How about you?
Yeah, it's good. Let me ask you, what'd you do on Halloween day, Friday night?
No,
Nothing.
absolutely nothing, and it
Hmm.
felt amazing.
Good. Well,
I
I
did.
went out, didn't get home until about 3:30 in the morning, and then had to work the next day at like 7 a.m. So that was pretty tough. Only 6 hours, but it was a consistent 6 hours, maybe one 15-minute break, and that was it. It was pretty wild. But it was good. Saturday, rest of the day, didn't go anywhere. No shot. Couldn't pay me to go anywhere. Sunday, did a little bit of work in the morning, and then after that, watched football. The Jets didn't play; they were on a bye week. So, as I said in the intro, they didn't lose. They didn't win either, but they didn't lose. So that's always great. But my weekend was good. A couple of things off the top that I'm going to mention to our listeners, our viewers. So I'm sure people have been wondering, and I've gotten a few texts about the Spotify issue. I had just mentioned to Dom before we started recording. I reached out to customer service yesterday, and they told me that I got to look for new music. So the music that I have been putting in the intro was okay up until they changed the policy rights, and now they're telling me I need new music. So that's fine. But if you're wondering why the heck was it up on Spotify for 2-3 days and then it just vanished, it disappeared. That was the reason why. It was for the last two episodes, episode 18 and episode 19. So that's for start number one. And number two, we would love for everybody to leave their comments for short form episodes, right? Long form episodes. Long form is this, short form is the FTV snippets that we make for only our YouTube channel. It's not on Spotify, it's not on Apple Podcasts. Apple Podcasts is linked with Spotify, so that's also why the episodes were also taken off Apple Podcasts as well, because it's with Spotify, it's linked. But leaving your comments are always great. Whatever, listed segments that we have, when like last week we did 5 alarming things to me about the Knicks currently this season, or, when we talked about the Tarik Skubal Mets trade, and when Dom talked about wide receivers that the Giants could potentially trade for, leaving comments for that is always great. So we urge our listeners and our watchers and our viewers to leave their comments for that. I know Dom always mentions it, but I don't mention it enough. So that's pretty important. But those are just a couple of things that I wanted to get out of the way. Dom, I'm getting a ton of comments about a couple of shorts on YouTube regarding the Mets. I'm still getting comments about 5 Mets that should be gone now that the offseason has officially started, and then comments about the Tarik Skubal trade. Some people are just like outrageous. They're like, that's why you guys aren't GMs. I'm like, you're right, we aren't. But we have our opinions and our takes.
I've I've been seeing them, and I just wish that like I was way more into the Mets, just so I can go off on these people because they're not really saying much about like my stuff. But every time like there's something about the Mets, there's always 10,000 comments on why you're right, on why you're wrong.
Yeah,
The
really.
like
Uh,
every
it's like
time.
I'm not the only one doing the podcast. Go at Dom a little bit too.
No,
Like,
it's the
you know,
Mets. It's just
we,
the
we do the
Mets
Yankees
fans, I
too.
think.
Like, comment on Dom's short too. Don't just do me. It's like I don't need all the freaking hate. Share. Give some hate to Dom too. My lord.
Maybe
It's like
maybe
what the
people just
hell?
know me a little bit and they just know I'll go off on the comments and not be family friendly.
Oh boy. I know the family friendly really didn't last much on this pod, really, to be
Honestly,
honest.
better off.
Yeah.
Better off.
We're unfiltered and very transparent, you could say, uh, with the viewers and the listeners of this pod. So just wanted to put some of that stuff out there to start, but we're gonna kick off with the NBA this time around. The Knicks go 2-1 on the week. Dom said 3-0. Not a terrible prediction, but at the same time, Dom, it is so hard to beat a team back to back. And starting off with the first game, which was on Halloween night, and it was a cup game, unfortunately, the Knicks lost to the Bulls in Chicago. Jalen Brunson led all scorers with 29 points. OG Anunoby had 26 and a +6 on the court. But it was another tough game for Cat and Josh Hart. Hart was a negative 18 on the court,
Mm, 18.
and Miles McBride actually was a negative 22 on the court. And, this is really, once again, this is where me and Dom, we had said prior, more Dom than I have, that it's going to take some time. You got to be patient. But I mean, Dom, I didn't really watch much of this game. I watched the highlights, obviously, on Saturday because I was out Friday night. But that game, I mean, we're going to get into the next two, but that game, Dom, really just perked up my ears because I was like, what the heck are we going to expect from this team? What are we
Mm,
getting from the losses? The Knicks team stats 45 of 91, 49.5% shooting, 18 of 45 from three, 40%, 17 of 23 from the line, 73.9%. So it's not even like the Knicks didn't shoot well. The Bulls shot 80% from the line, 28 of 35. So it's not like, oh, the Knicks weren't shooting well at all the whole game. And I'm, wondering how the heck, could this all happen? But the Bulls did have 8 steals and they had 54 points in the paint. And the Knicks conceded 25 points off turnovers. So that's really why they didn't win the game. After the game, Dom, Jalen Brunson was visibly upset about the poor start to the game. When I watched on YouTube the post game from MSG and Jalen Brunson talking, he just said that the start to the game was unacceptable and it needs to stop and they have to figure it out going forward. But I'm just going to read Dom quick and then I'm going to have you give your analysis and your takes on the game. But there is an article, I emailed it to myself, from SNY regarding Josh Hart. And he was transparent with the reporters on how he's feeling about his new role and what he needs to do going forward. But I'm just going to read this article real quick. So, this is what he said to the reporters after the Friday night loss to the Bulls. I feel like I've got the biggest adjustment out of the whole team, just in terms of role, starting, not starting, how the minutes are going to be. And I've obviously talked to Mike about how the minutes are going to go. And I've got to know every position. There's going to be times where I'm bringing the ball up. There's going to be times when I'm the 5, and there's going to be times where I'm the 4. So I literally have to know every play from every different position. He then added, I'm still figuring that stuff out, and it's an adjustment, but this is my 7th coach. I've had a lot of adjusting to do in my career, so should be solid. And then he continued with talking about his injuries. Now, Dom, you're going to talk about it a little bit, but I mean, even last night, had his knee wrapped up. He has back spasms, had his wrist wrapped up, had his finger double wrapped. I mean, this guy is just beaten, bruised. I don't know how he keeps on playing. For me, there probably will be a process until I get full feeling back, and that hand will be what it is in shooting. So, yeah, I'm not getting surgery. I mean, he's got nerve issues with the finger. I mean, this guy, he is a trooper. You got to give a ton of respect to Josh Hart. He is battling through injury upon injury, but that finger is pointing like what? Northwest. And it's just, he's got so many injuries to battle already. And we're only 7 games in. And we still got, let's see if I can do math off the top of my head. We still have another 75 games left to go. So that's just wanted to start out saying, with that first game. But your thoughts on everything that I just discussed?
Well, we're both on the same page when it comes to Josh Hart. Before we were talking about why is he still playing? If you have 37 injuries, why are you still on the court? I mean, it's only the beginning of the season. We're going to need you for, like you said, another 75 games. So there's no point of risking more injury. I was thinking the same thing about Cat, but obviously we'll get into the other games later on, but he seems better. He definitely seems more healthy. I was very concerned about the quad strain, but it doesn't seem like it's really bothering him at all. So he's good. But with Josh Hart, with this team, we need everybody. We need every single player. We'll get into it later, but Yabusele, he really hasn't played much. So maybe, I don't know if it's because he's just not good or maybe because he's still hurt and they're just not admitting it.
No, because he's fat.
Well, and that too. That's also another reason. I mean, I wasn't going to say that, but there you go. But, we're going to need our full roster to play. And these are the stats that I'm going to be looking at for the entire season. Every game, once the game ends, these are the stats that I'm going to be looking at. I'm going to be looking about fast break points and rebounds. If you told me 2 weeks ago, I'd say I'm going to be looking at points in the paint, but I don't even think we're going to get that many because of the way that we're shooting the ball. We're just going to shoot the daylights out of the ball for the rest of the season, it seems like. So I'm not even worried about points in the paint. But fast break points, we lost in this game that we're talking about, the first cup game, 7-9. Even though that isn't much, we still lost. And then rebounds, we lost 41-39. It's a close margin, but we have to win those two stats in order to win games. Maybe one if we get lucky, maybe just one of the stats, but we need both of those stats to win. I mean, that's what we're known for, especially with Mitch Robinson back. He's the one getting all these rebounds, all these offensive rebounds. Now Cat is getting a little more comfortable. Now he's a walking double-double now. So we got to win those battles in order to win games. And, we're all talking about, fast pace. But how can we do that if we're not winning the fast break battle in points? So those are the two things I'll be looking at. And, I mean, even the offensive rebounds, we still won 12-6. But defensive rebounds, we lost 35-27. So how is that going to work out? We need those two stats in every single game to win. Maybe one if we're lucky. And then with this game, what you were just talking about in the cup game, no defense at all. It seemed like there really wasn't a lot of energy on the court. It didn't feel like a cup game. It didn't feel like a little more extra urgency at all. It just felt like a casual game to them. I mean, I don't know what that says. I don't know if they're just tired or not as motivated, but it didn't look like a regular Knicks team that we're known to love, and it just wasn't good. It was just an all-out flat performance, and I can understand why Jalen Brunson was very upset after the game.
Yeah. I wanted to pull up the Cat stats. I mean, the way he shot in this game, 6 of 14 from the field, 42.9% field goal shooting, and then 1 of 5 behind the arc, 20% three-point shooting. He went perfect from the line. He was a +7 on the court. He played 32 minutes. He had 10 rebounds. But again, we're going to talk about last night's game in a bit, but it just seems like in that game specifically, he wasn't what Cat, again, was brought here to do last September, end of September 2024, when he got traded from the T-Wolves to the Knicks. It's just, again, yes, the season is young. We're only 7 games in, but you got to understand, the later we're going here, and this 7-game homestand, yes, they've kicked it off strong, but at the same time, once that homestand ends, that's it. You start to get a little bit of an inkling of what this team is going to be for the rest of the season. So Cat needs to be more consistent. He's got to utilize his size and not post up for too long and shoot the shots that you came here to shoot, which is the 3-point line and the mid-range shots, because we know you can do it. Okay, I kind of see you as, I don't want to say a full-blown Patrick Irving, Patrick Irving, Pat Ewing, but I don't know. You certainly have the talent to be somewhat close to that. Patrick Ewing was, obviously a fantastic talent, probably the best center the Knicks have ever had, hands down. But, he's got to be more consistent game by game. But that was the Halloween game. Then the Knicks, and this is where, again, it's hard to beat a team back to back. The Knicks play the Bulls again. The Knicks won that game 128-116. Jalen Brunson led all scorers once again with 31 points. OG Anunoby had 21 points and a plus 22 on the court. Cat had a much better game this time around. 20 points, 15 rebounds, 5 assists, plus 12 on the court. Landry Shamet was a plus 17 on the court with 9 points, and he was 3 of 6 from the 3-point line. Knicks team stats. Knicks went perfect from the line, free throw line, 22 of 22. And then 20 of 42 from 3, 47.6%. And Dom, this is where, you said it before we started this episode today. Mike Brown wants them to let it fly behind the arc. I meant to say this last week, and I didn't say it last week, and I'm going to say it now. With a team that wants to shoot primarily 3-point shots, I'm just going to warn people right now, going forward, there's going to be a lot of winning streaks, but a lot of losing streaks, because it is a very risky way to play basketball. If you're going to be a 3-point heavy shooting team, you're not going to win every game, and there's going to be streaks of winning and losing, unfortunately. So I'm just saying, brace yourself and get ready, because they will have a couple losing streaks here and there. I'm not saying they're not going to be successful this year, but there will be losing streaks.
I don't think this is still the right personnel for this system. If we had more shooters, then I'd be perfectly fine with this. Yeah, I know we have OG and we have Jalen and we have also Cat and Shamet and even Bridges. But Shamet and Cat can get cold very easily, because if they don't make their threes, then they're useless. Unless Cat, gets another double-double with his rebounds, which does help. But I'm just saying, if we had Dante still on this team, we'd be in very good shape. If we had someone that I talked about last week, like a Luke Kennard, just a straight shooter. Yeah, I can go back to even, let's say, like an example of like a Steve Novak. If we had somebody like that, then this system would be good. We just need more shooters. And that's why I think, and we've talked about it before, that I think that we're going to be active during the trade deadline. And I don't think it's going to be for a crazy superstar. I don't think it's going to be like Giannis or anything, but just shooting depth. That's it. That's what we need in order for this system to work. But going to this second game against the Bulls at home at Madison Square Garden, I'm looking at the stats right now, and we won both battles. We won fast break points, 24-19, and rebounds, 47-46. Those two stats are our recipe for success this year. And I'm sorry if I'm going to be repeating this a lot throughout this next season, but this is what I'm seeing right now. And it doesn't seem like we're going to be changing a lot of anything this year, unless just like our success rate. That's it. You know, like it's still going to take time. It's still going to take maybe like another month or two for us to be really flourished into this system, and hopefully we'll be way better and not just a little better. But as of these games that I'm seeing, this is what we're going to need to do. We're going to need to win the fast break points battle and rebounds. And with
So
the
Dom,
rebounds, we
I don't mean to cut you off. I do have a question for you though. What is your take on the turnover stats?
turnover stats, I mean, they really haven't been that terrible. They're
Are
really not
they
that bad as of
okay?
now.
Are they as equally important in your opinion? Are they as equally important as the fast break and rebound statistics?
Turnovers, of course, they matter no matter what. Um, Throughout the season, we have won the turnover battle and lost, and there's times where we lost the turnover battle and won the game.
Mm,
So at this moment, I don't think it's as important. And I mean, I wish that we were able to get more points in the paint because
mhm.
with this game we lost 54-42, which is sort of crazy because we do have Cat and Mitch on the floor at the same time. So that's a little crazy to me that we're losing by 12 points in the points in the paint battle, but that's just not our system.
Yeah, I mean
So I'm not really surprised.
But Mitch isn't. I mean, Mitch played 20 minutes on Friday, and then he played 13 on Sunday, which is something I was, I'll say it again. I'm going to be saying it again a little bit down here after we discussed the Wizards game last night. But he's slowly getting back into playing. He's not obviously not scheduled to play back to backs yet. He did not play last night. I'll just put that out there already now. Uh, yeah, when he finally, as you say all the time, right? Football, basketball shape. When he gets back into basketball shape, then I think we can fully evaluate that. Right now, it's kind of hard to
Yeah.
evaluate him and Cat playing together because right now, mathematically, he's only played 33 minutes this season. So, and I don't know how
Yeah.
much that was. I don't know how many minutes that was with Cat, next to him on the floor.
No, you're 100% right. But it's just like, even just their presence on the court,
Mhm.
it should be more.
Yeah.
But the thing is, with Mitch, we all know this. There's times where he can barely even catch a ball or even go up, and
Mhm.
he seems like he's 9 foot tall.
Yeah.
Usually when he gets a rebound, he just kicks it back out. But I mean, it seems like Mike Brown will enjoy that anyway because he wants him to shoot threes.
Yes.
So,
Mhm.
I'm sure that's not really a big problem with Mike Brown, but it just should equal more points. But you were 100% right. He's not fully healthy. He's not playing back to backs. But in the future, I do expect more. I do expect more points in the paint.
Mhm. I think that's fair. Yeah, every time I listen to Mike Brown's, speak in the post game, he always talks about sprays. How many sprays did we get in the game? And if people don't fully understand what sprays means, that's you driving to the paint, you're looking to drive to the hoop, but there's defenders that, collapse and clamber to the center of the court, and then you kick it out for a 3-point shot. Mike Brown always talks about how many sprays the Knicks had in the individual games. So, as Dom said, Mike Brown wants a lot of shooting behind the arc, and that's his scheme, that's his game plan. So, we're not surprised that this has been already and is going to be a heavy 3-point shooting team. But again, as Dom has already expressed multiple times, and I agree with him, the Knicks need, more shooting, maybe a little bit better shooting, frankly, and they just have to be consistent. And that's where we talked about the Boston Celtics last week, Dom. And if you think
Yep.
about it, last year, the year that they won the championship, let's see, 3-point shooters: Jason Tatum, Jalen Brown, Kristaps Porzingis, Drew Holiday, Al Horford, Peyton Pritchard, Derek White. That's already 7 guys.
Yep.
Like, Sam Hauser, that's 8. They had a bunch of good 3-point shooters. And do the Knicks have? I mean, they have guys that can get close to that, right? Jalen Brunson, Mikal Bridges, Cat. I'm not counting Josh Hart. Sorry. OG
Oh.
Anunoby, Jordan Clarkson, Miles McBride, Yabusele. If that fat ass can lose some weight, maybe he can hit a 3. There are some guys that you know have the potential and they have the talent to shoot as well as those Boston Celtics players the last couple of years or even the last few years. But that was that game. And then last night's game, they beat the Wizards. Thank God. I'm going to be honest. I mean, the first half only being up 3 and they were losing at one point. They were down 10. I was like, what the hell are we doing here? I was like, what the hell is going on? I was like, can we figure it out? I mean, yeah, don't get me wrong. Forget his name. His last name is George. But do you know his first name, Dom? I forget his first name on the Wizards. I'm going to have to look it up.
George? No,
What'd
I
you say?
don't know.
Yeah.
No, I don't.
Yeah, I thought maybe you said it at first. I got it right here. Keyshawn George or
Oh,
Keyshawn,
Keyshawn.
however you say that. I mean, he's the only good guy. He is a good player, and so is Sar, their center, that second overall pick. He's good too, but Cat was bodying him the whole game. So speaking of Cat led all scorers with 33 points, had 13 rebounds, 5 assists. He was a plus 13 on the court. Mikal Bridges was a plus 21 on the court, 3 steals, 3 blocks. Jalen Brunson plus 21 on the court, 9 assists. Josh Hart plus 21 on the court, 12 points, 10 rebounds, 5 assists. Jordan Clarkson plus 17 on the court, 15 points. He's starting to shoot it. So that's good. He's making his threes. That's very important for a guy off the bench. Don't forget Jordan Clarkson has won a 6th man of the year. So he knows about being
Yep.
productive off the bench, which is massive for the Knicks, especially with those non-Jalen Brunson minutes, as we discussed last week. Knicks team stats, fast break points, Dom, 16 points, 52 points in the paint. Wizards had 20 turnovers. Knicks only had 12. But the shooting in this game, Dom, was pretty identical. Knicks shot 46.8% from the field. Wizards shot 46.9. Knicks shot 36.6% from 3. Wizards shot 37.1%. But again, going back to Dom's point, fast break points 16. And Dom, they had 52 points in the paint. And I believe the Wizards had in the high 30s. I don't even think they reached 40 points in the paint. But there you go. That explains why the Knicks
Yep.
pulled it out and beat the Wizards by 17.
I just don't want people to really take this game and be like, all right, we're back.
Yeah.
The Wizards are god awful. They're one of the worst teams in the league. Everyone says I'm a Debbie Downer, but I think I call myself a realist, honestly. The Wizards are just so bad that, I hope that we can put up these numbers at least. You know what I mean? Like, just look at these halftime numbers. It was 57-54. Cat had 16, 10, and 5. OG had 11. Clarkson had 10 points in 11 minutes. That's pretty good. And they had 15 assists in the first half, and they were only 8 of 22 from 3. And we were still up by 3. And the Wizards were shooting 53.7% from the field. So, they're still shooting good, like these opposing teams. But I just hope that we can at least put our numbers up against this awful team. Like Cat had an amazing game. These last 2 games have been really good for him. And then just the offense for the Knicks have been strong these past 2 games. They had 32 assists on 44 makes in the win over Washington, which is incredible. And then against the Bulls last game, they hit 23s. So, I know the Bulls have been off to a hot start, but the Wizards are just so terrible that I'm really not getting my hopes up, like for this team against the awful Wizards. But
Yeah.
we need this though. this is a game that we need just so we can get into more shape and get into more flow in this offense and try and get more defensive stops. And I mean, we won basically almost every battle, every stat against this team. I mean, we lost the 3-point battle, but I mean, it is what it is. By not even 1%, we lost the battle. So fast break, 16-8. We won in assists also. We won in steals. We won in turnovers because the Wizards had 20 turnovers compared to the Knicks 12. So I mean, turnovers are still important. They're still very important. And we went on a 17-0 run at one point in the second half. And then our largest lead was 27. So we did mostly everything right this game. But
Uh-huh.
we're gonna have really hard matchups in the next game against Minnesota. So, you're going from the Wizards to Minnesota. Let's see how they can respond to that.
Yeah, that's going to be a pivotal game. I think that's going to dictate where Cat. I'm going to be honest. I know again it's only the 8th game of the season, but I think that's going to show us where Cat is exactly at and where this offensive system is at right now. Now again, yeah, it's early, but Minnesota Timberwolves are a good team. Anthony Edwards, Rudy Gobert is still a defensive specimen. They have a lot of good players. And, Julius Randle, Dante DiVincenzo coming back to MSG again. It's going to be an interesting game, and it's going to be a popular one as well, especially for Knicks fans. But that game is important to signal to the fans that, hey, we can figure this offensive system out of Mike Brown, and we'll be fine going forward. So this is an important game Wednesday night. I'm
Oh,
not going to
100%.
sugarcoat it. It's important.
And I'm not gonna lie, like I know we both hate Julius Randle, and he did score a triple double against the Nets, but it was his first with the Timberwolves. When I was watching him, like with just the highlights, this looks like the best shape he's ever been in.
100%.
He looks amazing. Like he looks strong but lean. But when he's with the
Mhm.
Knicks, he just looks strong and like bulky. Like he looks like he can actually move a lot quicker and faster and making quicker decisions. So this seems like a new and improved Julius Randle this year. And then also with Dante DiVincenzo, he's shooting the hell out the ball. I think
Mhm.
last game he scored 25 or something like that. So I mean, it
Mhm.
seems like he's back. It seemed like he was struggling last year trying to find his groove, but seems like he's off to a hot start this year. And then obviously you got Anthony Edwards and Rudy Gobert still there. So this is going to
Yeah.
be a really hard game, and I agree. This is an important game for us, even though it's so early in the season. But we're like you said, we're going to see how Cat can respond against this team. We can see how our shooting is, and it seems like with this new and improved Julius Randle, they're trying to pick up the pace a little bit. So let's see how we respond with our defense.
Right. Yeah. It's a good early test because you want to figure out who you got and who's going to help you win on the court. I know Mike Brown is throwing a bunch of lineups out there. He's mixing and matching with a bunch of different people. I know, it may confuse fans and drive them crazy, but this is the time to do it. Okay. We're not a lot of games in. Mike Brown's got to figure out what he has for his starting lineups, for his bench. This is a good early test. This is a good thing that Minnesota's coming to MSG this early. Don't forget you also have McDaniels as well. They have a lot of good players, and they
Exactly.
got Nas Reed. For the people who and we appreciate it. For the ones who have been listening to this pod since the beginning, you should know how much I like Nas Reed. That is a guy I wish was on the Knicks. My lord, how
Me too.
great that would be if he was in a Knicks uniform. But again, this is going to be a very important game Wednesday night. So that's everything for those games. Now, just a few things, Dom, I'm going to say. Number one, once again, and I don't know if you honestly have to be deaf. I don't know if you couldn't tell where I feel and how I stand right now on Gershon Yabusele, but that fat bastard needs to figure it out because he looks
Yep.
terrible once again. And I understand it's early and maybe he's got to get his rhythm, but his rhythm is not really going to be there if he doesn't start losing weight. And it's interesting, Dom. I was listening to the post game for Knicks Fan TV, and people were writing in their live chat, this man needs to lose weight. And it is apparent to everybody that he came in to the season out of shape, and he doesn't really look to shoot much unless he's wide open. I know I said that already last week, but for what they got him for and the contract that they gave him, 2 years, 12 million. Yeah, it's not a lot, but it's still a good chunk of change for a guy that's coming off the bench. And he's just not shooting it well. He's constantly just looking to be a screen guy and not really do even any pick and roll. And his defense is not up to speed. He just doesn't look smooth. He looks out of shape. He really has to figure it out. And what I will say is, yes, the season is still young, but he needs to get into some sort of rhythm before Christmas Day. He's got
100%.
2 months. He's got 2 months. The season started October 22nd against the Cavs at home. That's a little over 2 months later on Christmas Day. If I don't see some sort of rhythm by Christmas Day, the alarms are going to have to go off. And you're really going to have to be active a month and a half later at the trade deadline, because you can't have this fat ass coming off the bench trying to depend on him. I mean, I don't mean to sound like, a mean person or be too hard on the guy, but folks, he's making $6 million a year and he came here to be in shape. Let's be real with it and let's call it a spade a spade. He looks like a fat ass. He doesn't look good at all in anything that he's doing on the court. And he's barely playing. Why is he barely playing? Because he's not in shape and he doesn't look good. So that's number one. I'm not going to keep harping on it for the whole time. That's number one. Number two, I mentioned it already, but Mitchell Robinson finally played Friday and Sunday night, playing 20 minutes on Friday, 13 minutes on Sunday. But he did tweak his ankle again on Sunday. And luckily, he did come back onto the court. And, he did play for a little bit longer. But he did not play last night. He's not scheduled to play back-to-backs yet. And the last thing I'm going to say, which, again, it's early, but it's not going to work in the long haul. The Knicks are undefeated at home, Dom, but they're winless on the road.
Winless.
You guys start winning road games.
Yep.
Otherwise, look like you're going 41-41, and that's just not going to cut it.
That was like, I think that was like a few years ago when it was the Warriors team. They barely won on the road. They barely won on the road and won almost every game at home. And I think they just got eliminated in the first round of the playoffs. So that's a big stat right there.
Yeah, it is.
It's very.
They got to figure out how to win on the road. It's great to win at home. Thank you. I appreciate it for the money you have to spend to get a ticket at MSG. But you got to win on the road. I mean, you can't just win at home. It's kind of like baseball related too. The Mets couldn't win on the road last year, this past season. But they were winning at home. That's great. But, dude, you got to win on the road. And now they have this long 7-game homestand. They're 2 games into it. They got 5 more. But then you're going to have a pretty long road trip soon. That's just how the schedule works. And you got to win. You got to at least go 500 or better for the next road trip that you take. I don't care if it's all the way out in the West Coast. You got to win road games. So, anything else, Dom, you have to say before I move on to the NFL?
So when Mike Brown said about Yabusele, well, first of all, last game against the Wizards, he did play 14 minutes, but he only scored 1 goddamn point. 1. 1 point, and he went 0 for 2 from 3. But before that, Mike Brown, the last 2 games against the Bulls, only playing 5 minutes. This is what he said. He said, "It's me. I could probably play 10, but it's going to be more 9.5, and someone's going to have the other 0.5. Give us whatever he can give us. Nothing he did. My call. Gersh has played well. Got to keep himself ready.
He's played
When he
well.
says got to keep himself ready, he low-key meant this guy's not in shape. He's fat. He needs to lay off all the amazing New York pizza and get in the gym. That's what he said. Low-key.
How is he? How is he? Dom, explain to me how he's playing well exactly.
Exactly. He's just trying to defend his player. He knows that's not true. Especially with the last thing he said, that he has to keep himself ready. You don't just say that to anybody. That's just a general thing that every player has to do, even if you're a starter or a bench player. So if you have to say that, you know that this guy ain't ready. The coach knows it. The team knows it. I'm sure Gershon, I mean, he better know it. I mean, don't get me wrong. I love the pizza. I mean, I love New York City pizza. Don't get me wrong, but yo, just eat a salad. Have a nice little salad. Not that bad.
It ain't.
Maybe
It ain't.
maybe a vegetable slice. You know, that'd be nice. Did you have the vegetable slice from Prince Street?
I've
Fire.
had vegetable slice. Yeah, I'm sure. I've had vegetable slices right here in Bay Terrace in Bayside. Rose's Pizza. It's fantastic. It's a fantastic vegetable slice. I've had a vegetable slice at VI Pizza on Bell Boulevard. Fantastic. Vegetable slices are good. Oh my God. Wait,
They're good.
my cousin's wife just made a vegetable pie, vegetable pizza at her house. Phenomenal. It was fantastic. No sauce on it. Dom, you would have loved it. It was
You don't
great.
need sauce. You don't need sauce.
You don't. You don't. It was
No, like
great.
lettuce, tomatoes, and olives, and carrots, and great.
You don't need a cheese pizza every time you get a slice.
No, you
There's
don't.
no need. Change it up.
I mean,
But that
especially
guy,
like, oh yeah, he gotta relax. With all these, tourists or people that don't live in New York, they love Joe's Pizza for some reason. Lay off the Joe's.
yeah,
They probably don't even have a vegetable slice, to be
no,
honest. They probably don't even have one. If they do, correct me in the comments. But no one at Joe's is getting a vegetable slice. So
no.
go to, all right, Gershon Yabusele, go to Prince Street. You can't miss it. It's on Prince Street. Prince Street Pizza is on Prince Street. Have the vegetable slice, and you'll thank me later.
I like it.
Just saying.
I like the help. He needs it. But I do agree with you, though. Maybe get a nice little Cobb salad. Wouldn't be the worst thing.
Yeah, I gotta start eating more salad myself. So
Yeah.
I
Anywho.
gotta be.
Yeah, I listen. Do as you wish. Do whatever you got to do. All right, so that's that. Finish it off with some good food in New York. But anyway, that's the NBA. So now we're going to move on to the NFL. The Giants lose to the Niners 34-24. And Dom, everywhere I looked on the TV, I told you before we aired this episode today, my friend John from college, he went to the game at MetLife, and he took a nice little panoramic view of the stadium. I mean, the amount of Niners fans, they filled up the stands. I mean, those Niners fans were there, and it was a lot of red. And I know the Giants have the, flashback old red uniforms. No, this was Niners red from California.
Yeah.
So they lose 34-24, and it was a tough game to watch, honestly.
When I went to the game against the Chiefs, which was so embarrassing to watch, I left at halftime if people forgot. It was that bad. But it was disgusting that there was so much red that I saw. But at the same time, I'm like, you know what? Like, maybe I'll give everyone a pass because, like the Giants, like a guy Giants fan going with their girlfriend, they all have the Taylor Swifties and Travis Kelce jerseys because the girls don't really know much about football, but they like Travis Kelce because of Taylor Swift.
No, you got it right.
So,
No, you got it right the first time.
right.
You got it right the first time. You're good.
I got it right.
Nah,
I got it right.
That's
I
what
didn't
my
even mean to
family
do
calls
that.
them. So whatever.
I didn't even mean to do that. See, that's how it just flows off the tongue. But so I gave everyone a pass. But really, they're across the freaking country, San Francisco. Like, who the hell is a 49er fan in New York? I didn't even know that existed. which is crazy to me. But anyway, with that game, I mean, I understand that people are upset that we lost and it was just like an awful game. But how can we win a game when we have our 2 starting corners out and our starting safety out? I want someone to explain to me how any team can win a game like that. 2 starting cornerbacks out and our starting safety.
Yeah.
Please let me know in the comments how we can win a game like that. All right? So everyone needs to relax. But I'm not going to bombard you guys with stats. Everyone saw the game of how just terrible it was. You know, Theo Johnson, as much as we like him as a target for Jackson Dart, he can't catch. He just has a hard time catching the ball. We have Darius Slayton, who can catch a ball, which isn't surprising. And the fact that we gave him $36 million is disgusting. Absolutely disgusting that we wasted all that money. Deonte Banks, he looks like that he's afraid to play football. With that tackle against air quote tackle, Brian Robinson Jr. or Senior, whatever the hell you call him, that was just pathetic. Dexter Lawrence only had 1 pressure. Kayvon Thibodeau only had 1 pressure. But Dexter Lawrence is just checked out. You can't convince me he's not. It's not like he's gone or he's washed or he's just having a really bad year, which he is. And oh yeah, he's getting double teamed. He's been getting double teamed his whole career. So you can't tell me that's the reason why he's not playing good. He is checked out, mentally checked out. You can't tell me any other reason why he's not playing good. Every time that you see him in the post-game presser, he looks depressed. And he said, I don't really plan on playing anywhere else. That's the media training talking. I can't imagine him not want to play somewhere else. And yes, he has a giant tattoo, but so many players get their tattoo of their teams that they got drafted by.
It's ridiculous.
So that's not an excuse.
It's ridiculous.
No one is motivated on this team anymore. Nobody. And I can tell you why. Ready? Brian Burns. He stormed out of the locker room on Sunday and didn't talk to the media. Deonte Banks ran out the back door through the bathroom, by the way, in the locker room with his pants at his ankles. Didn't talk to the media. I've been told that the entire locker room left at a record-breaking time. And I said that Dexter Lawrence is checked out. Wan'Dale Robinson, and I quote, "I'm sick of this shit." And the most pathetic thing that I've heard from yesterday, Graham Gano. He missed another field goal. Is he healthy? I have no idea. Most likely not. But then he goes on a rant saying that was the only missed field goal that he missed the entire day. Chris, let me ask you a question. Does it look like I give a shit about your warm-up kicks?
No, not at all. No. God, no.
Yeah. Do you care about warm-up kicks?
No.
No. Great. Who the fuck cares about warm-up kicks? This is what this guy's bragging about? Really? You're supposed to be like a class act. You're supposed to be like one of the nicest guys on the team with like the best media training. Meanwhile, you're bragging about your practice kicks and saying that, I'm a damn good kicker. Not this year, you're not. I'm sorry, you're not. And you're not even on the field half the time because you're hurt. I mean, do I blame you for that? No. But what? Availability that's what we need on every position is availability. And you're not there. You're not available. So I don't know what you're complaining about. And the last thing that I'm going to say about the Giants, which I told you earlier in the podcast that I had something to say, that I did a complete 180, Brian Daboll's got to go as well. Clean the house. I'm done. Last week, I said that we need Daboll on the team to, help out with Dart in his development because they do have a good connection. But honestly, that could be any coach. I don't know. Maybe I was just a little too emotional last week about it, but it could be any good coach that can have good, good development with a quarterback, especially a year two quarterback. He doesn't know how to run a game, Brian Daboll. We're 2-6, and like we're near the red zone or we're past the 50. Why are we kicking field goals? We're 2-6. We're not
I
going
couldn't believe
anywhere.
Dom, I couldn't believe they kicked the field goal at that time. I
Why?
was like, yeah, I was like, why aren't we going for it?
What? Why? Like, what do we have to lose? We
Nothing.
have nothing to lose.
Nothing.
This is what you do. He can't do that. That's number one that he can't do. He can't run a game. He doesn't even know how to use his timeouts correctly. Like the play calling is just atrocious. Um, I mean, they're saying it's Mike Kafka calling the plays, but I don't know. Like there's some times where Mike Kafka can have amazing games, and there's times where he's just god awful. Is Dayball in the way of that? I don't know. Joe Shane. I mean, everyone knows that we gave up McKinney, we gave up Barkley, um, we gave Slayton $36 million. There's so many things that he's done wrong. But then obviously there's people out there and it's like, oh, but look what he did with this draft and this player and this. Like it just evens out to zero at this point when it comes to Joe Shane with all the good and bad that he's done. It's basically at zero. So he also has to go. And obviously Shane Bowen needs to leave as well.
Oh, we know
He
that.
is the worst defensive coordinator I've ever seen.
We know
I've
that already,
ever
Dom. You've expressed your hatred for Shane Bowen for weeks now.
So yeah, so I really don't have to say much about that. But I have changed my decision in keeping Brian Dayball. Get him out. Get him the hell out. Clean slate. We have talent. We can try and add more in the offseason if people want to come play with Jackson Dart, or if defensive players want to come play with Brian Burns and Dexter Lawrence and Kayvon Thibodeau and Abdul Carter. So you know what? I'm done. I'm done with this coaching scheme and general manager, defensive coordinator. Everyone has to go.
Hmm.
And yeah, that's all I have to say about the Giants.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, I understand everything you're saying. I mean, right now the Giants locker room is not stable. The coaching staff is a mess. I mean, it helps a lot that Jackson Dart is there, and I think he does have a good future ahead of him with the Giants, or frankly, any NFL team that he would be on if it weren't for the Giants currently. Listen, it's hard to evaluate everything when you lost your best running back and your best wide receiver. I'm going to be
No, of
honest.
course.
The defensive line, and again, that kid John that went to the Giants game, he's a Niners fan. Um, he was even telling me over the weekend, we were chatting, and he's like, the Giants D line is fantastic, but they can't stop the run for, anything. They
They
can
cannot.
pass rush, but that's what they're known for. Really, the only guy that maybe is a solid, you know, run stuffer is Dexter Lawrence, but you even said he checked out. So I don't know. It's tough to see. It was definitely is just Brian. Yeah, I don't know. Brian Dable. I literally said this to you. What, the other week, maybe last week or 2 weeks ago. Brian Dable confuses me on some of the things that he does.
Almost everything.
Again, not as much as Aaron Glenn this year, but he really just confuses the heck out of me. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, just
Oh,
blows my mind.
I
I don't know.
forgot to say one thing.
Mm,
At the time of this recording, it is the day of the trade deadline at 12:11. It ends at 4 o'clock. I believe the Giants are going to do absolutely nothing because do we want people? Are we going to try and trade? Of course we are. We're going to try and be aggressive. Who do we have to trade? We don't have anyone to trade.
I don't know.
We can't trade. We can't trade Evan Neal. We can't trade Jalen Hyatt. I mean, who the hell are we going to trade? We barely have any draft picks. We have no assets to trade at all, unless
Yeah.
we give up a big name like Kayvon Thibodeau, and I swear to God, if we give him up, I'm going to break my laptop. And then I'm going to have to do the next week's podcast on my phone.
Yeah. Well,
That's how,
it's funny.
like,
It's honestly funny you mentioned the trade deadline because I literally have that written down as the last point for the NFL. So it's a great coincidence that you put it out there already. But yeah, I don't know what the Giants are going to do if they do anything, frankly. But the Jets, they had a bye week. They traded Michael Carter the second to the Eagles. Jets got wide receiver John Mechie the third and a 2027 6th-round pick. Really, the Jets just picked up wide receiver depth. The Eagles needed some sort of slot corner. So, it's crazy, honestly, and it just goes to show you, Dom, in the NFL, it does not matter that Michael Carter signed a 3-year extension at that time with the Jets, September of last year, that now he's just no longer here a year later. Now he got traded. It just contracts literally mean nothing nowadays in any sport, not just the
yep.
NFL. But the Jets made that trade. We'll see if Brees Hall is going to get traded. Quentin Williams is drawing interest because he's got no more guaranteed money left on his contract. We'll see if he stays here or if he goes. I'm not really sure. But again, the Jets, they play the Browns this upcoming Sunday. We're going to do that in the Take a Seat, Let's Predict segment a little bit down the road here. But I'm just going to list all of the current trades that have happened. And Dom, Jacoby Myers has been traded.
I saw that.
So he just got traded to the Jaguars. This got posted by Adam Schefter 45 minutes ago. I guess while we were talking about the NBA and the Knicks. So far, and I'm going to start from the bottom up. Joe Flacco to Cincinnati. Alohi Gilman to Baltimore Ravens. Odafe Owe to the Chargers. Tyson Campbell to the Cleveland Browns. Greg Newsome to the Jacksonville Jaguars. Roger McCreary to the LA Rams. Kyle Duggar to the Pittsburgh Steelers. Keon White to the San Francisco 49ers. John Mechie III, as I just mentioned, to the Jets. Michael Carter II to the Eagles, as I just mentioned. Jair Alexander to the Eagles. Logan Wilson to Dallas. Draymond Jones to the Baltimore Ravens. Jalen Phillips to the Philadelphia Eagles. And as recent as 45 minutes ago, Jacoby Myers to the Jacksonville Jaguars. The Las Vegas Raiders got a 4th and 6th-round pick for Jacoby Myers in return. So the Steelers were showing interest to Myers as well. And of course, as we know, Jacoby Myers is going to be a free agent after his contract expires this season. So Adam Schefter also wrote here, the Jaguars came into today with the projected 13 picks in the 2026 NFL draft. They traded a 4th and 6th to get Jacoby Myers and still have 11 picks left. 2026 picks left, rounds 2, 3, 3, 3, 4, 5, 5, 6, 7, 7, 7. That is an abundance of picks for the 2026 NFL draft. But that's what's gone on so far with the trade deadline. As Dama has already mentioned, the trade deadline ends at 4 p.m. Eastern today. I still believe, Dom, I know right now what time is it? 12:16. We have a little less than 4 hours left. I still believe Brees Hall will get traded. I don't know how much it's going to be. As I said last week, if it is for the goddamn Kansas City Chiefs, I may just go play in traffic. I mean, I don't, it's 90% mental, as Dodgeball, the movie says. Good luck, Gordon. It's 90% mental. But I think I'm just gonna go play in traffic if Brees Hall gets traded to the Kansas City Chiefs. I don't even know what I'd do. But I do think he will get traded to one of the other 31, or I should say 30 teams. But if he doesn't, then, so be it. Then the Jets are going to have to figure out what they're going to do after this year because he's a free agent too. He was a 2nd-round pick. He doesn't get a 5th-year option. He's not a 1st-round pick. So we'll see what happens. Again, trade deadline's over at 4 p.m. Eastern today. Dom doesn't think the Giants will do anything. I think Quentin Williams will be here. I think Brees Hall will be gone. So
I can see that.
Yeah.
I can see it, and it seems like he's wanted to be out for a while anyway. I mean, it doesn't seem like. I mean, I know it really hasn't been talked about that much, but just the way I
Yeah.
see it, I think he wants to get out.
It's been talked about sparingly, Dom. He did say maybe it was a week, max 2 weeks ago, that he said he enjoys being a Jet and he wants to be here. But listen, I think he was just trying to save face for the
Yeah,
media. It's the professional thing to do. But
exactly.
yeah, it is what it is. And the funny thing is, last thing I'll say before we get into the MLB, speaking of trying to save face for the media, this guy didn't really do it. My brother had mentioned to me last Thursday, Dom, about Jamar Chase's post game comments about recently about how somebody asked him if there's something that he can do as a leader of the team to help out the defense, and he goes, "I'm on the offense. That's not my job."
Yeah, like what do you want him to say to that?
Yeah, but Dom, that's not the professional answer. The professional
It's
answer is
definitely
you
not.
say, "Hey, listen, I'm going to round up the troops and help them out. Positive outlook, all that stuff." But Jamar Chase was like, "Not my job. I'm on offense." So
Yeah, I mean, I know that's not the proper answer to say, but it's also the correct answer.
did
Like,
you
he's a
see?
wide receiver. What the hell?
Did
He's not the quarterback of the team.
I
Like,
know? I
there's no reason for him to have to rally the troops. Rally the troops.
Uh huh. Uh
There's no reason for it. But
Yeah.
at the end of the day, though, when it comes to them, you pay all this big money to three people, two receivers and your quarterback. How do you expect to get anybody else? When you paid Joe Burrow, T. Higgins, and Jamar Chase, how do you expect to get anybody else when you give them all that money? That's what happens. You have an amazing offense, but obviously Joe Burrow's hurt. But that's what you get when you spend all that money. You get no defense.
Yeah.
You got to build it from
It
the ground up.
Yeah, and he was even pretty adamant about how the defense couldn't get one more stop, and he was screaming about it heading to the locker room. So he was visibly upset. But yeah, that's it for the NFL. I just wanted to end it on that. I had to throw that in there. So now talking about the MLB, Dom Cody Bellinger opted out. That's really you said that's really the only person that opted out for the Yankees, right?
Yeah. Well, there's two things. Well, starting off with Cody Bellinger, I mean, he has 1 year left with $25 million. I mean, I talked about it a few weeks ago that I wouldn't be surprised if he did because he had a great year with the Yankees. And two, it's the New York Yankees. They got money. Maybe he just wants, maybe just more years. Maybe, he just wants 25 million a year, but maybe an extra 3, 4 years. So I'm not surprised that if anyone on the Yankees would opt out, just because the Yankees have a lot of money. So not really a big surprise to me. But what has to happen is we got to keep him. We gotta we gotta keep him no matter what. Let's say for some reason we don't want to keep him and get Kyle Tucker. We're still down a man. We would still be down a man on in the outfield unless Jason Dominguez just transforms into a all-time outfielder, which we know he isn't. But we need Cody Bellinger on this team, especially him being a lefty. But you're gonna tell me, but Kyle Tucker is also a lefty. Why can't we have both? Honestly, we have the third most expensive payroll in the league behind the Mets and the Dodgers. Why can't we be aggressive for once? Like why can't we just try and get everybody like how we used to? Why can't we try and at least intimidate the Dodgers like how they are, getting everybody? I don't understand why the Yankees can't do that.
Because
I
it's not
mean,
George Steinbrenner anymore. It's Hal Steinbrenner.
yep, and he sucks.
Mhm.
He is scared. He is scared for some reason. He's just being too conservative. Meanwhile, if George was here, he would have sent his son to the grave. Honestly, if George was still here. But obviously, that's just such a big excuse that everyone says ever since George died. Every Yankee fan's like, if George was here, if George was here, it'd be way different. Well, I'm sorry. This man has been gone for a decade, even longer.
Decade and a
Rest in
half.
peace, George.
Yeah,
Decade and a
passed
half.
away in 2010.
Rest in peace to George Steinbrenner, you legend. But your son ain't cutting it. He's not cutting it at all. And I'm still shocked that Brian Cashman's still here. I don't know. Maybe I can't tell you the reason why he's still here, but he shouldn't. But we need to be aggressive during this offseason. We need more pitching. We need at least one more starting pitcher, and we need more outfield help. And plus, what about third baseman? I know we do have Ryan McMahon, but this man can't hit for his life. He's a great defensive player.
Yeah.
And also, what about shortstop? Are we going to give Anthony Volpe a pass? Because now that it came out that he had like a torn labrum in his shoulder and for some reason still played? Or are we going to try and get someone else? Are we going to trade? Are we going to, I don't know what's going to happen in the infield, but we need more pitching and more outfield help. And I think it would be stupid to not try and get both Cody Bellinger back and Kyle Tucker.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's just my take on it, but
Yeah.
why not be aggressive? We're going to have to be. I mean, the AL is getting better. It hasn't been the same for a few years now, but they are getting better. The Blue Jays went to the World Series. Incredible Game 7, by the way, but we don't really have to talk about that. The Mariners are still good. The Red Sox are on the up and coming. So it's not going to be a cakewalk anymore. We still have the Royals have young talent. The Guardians are still good. So, I mean, it's not talent like the NL, but the AL is no joke either, especially starting next year.
Yeah. No, those are valid points. But not having George Steinbrenner, yeah, it's not the same old Yankees.
Nope.
Now with his son taking over at the helm, it's not the same Yankees that we grew up watching, Dom. So we'll see what they do. That's the Yankees so far. I mean, we'll see what they do for the offseason. It officially starts now with the Dodgers. Praise the Lord. Another season, another Dodgers World Series. My God. They win it again. It is what it is. But for the Mets, Pete Alonso opted out. Shocker there. He already expressed that right when the season ended. Edwin Diaz opted out. Was a little surprised by that. Thought maybe he would just opt in, take the money that he was going to be given for the 5-year contract that he signed after the 2022 season. But he opted out. That's going to be a very important re-signing that the Mets have to do, honestly, because let's be real, I don't know who else is going to be closing for this team if it's not Edwin Diaz. And he really bounced back this past year. Looked like prime 2022 Edwin Diaz. It took him a couple of years after his knee injury in the World Baseball Classic March 2023, but he's really one of the top closers in the game. I'm just trying to pull up how much money he would have been given if he opted in instead of opting out. Yeah, so it was okay. So it would have been 15, 15, and 17 for the last 3 years, essentially. Maybe 2028 was a player or team option, but it's voided now. So it is what it is. He now opted out. Hopefully the Mets, 2028 club option. 17.25 million, $1 million buyout. Okay, so that last year, I know it was a 5-year deal, so 2028 was a club option, but that's obviously voided now since he opted out. But that's going to be important to re-sign. AJ Minter, we knew that he got hurt early in the season this past season. He takes his player option, 1 year, $11 million. Also, unfortunately, Frankie Montas, talk about highway robbery. He opted in
Yeah.
and he exercised his player option. So AJ Minter exercised his, not shocking. And of course, Frankie Montas exercised his for $17 million. What an absolute steal. What a bum. Terrible, terrible signing by David Stearns, but we knew that once it happened beginning of December last year. Juan Soto named MVP finalist for the NL. Yankees fans really must be shocked. I think they thought he was going to have a terrible season. I don't know. They must have been drinking something over there. But he's an MVP finalist for the National League. I'm not so much talking to you, Dom, about that. I'm just talking about other people that just go insane on Twitter, like that
Oh
account
yeah,
Cole King. I mean, that guy's an idiot. My friend Matt, he's honestly thrilled that the Mets didn't really go anywhere. I don't think Juan Soto is gonna win it, but if he miraculously does, can't wait for my town friend Matt to just start spewing his garbage about how, you know, oh yeah, it didn't mean anything. The Mets didn't make the playoffs, buddy. We know, but Yankees thought we're going to be terrible with the Mets, but it is what it is. And I'm going to say one thing right now, and it's about the Tarik Skubal trade. I just got more comments, and some of these people are outrageous, and they're really nuts. They must have nothing to do. I mean, it is lunchtime. It's 12:28. Maybe they're just writing as they eat their sandwich. But with the Tarik Skubal trade, everyone keeps hitting at me. Oh, it's a 1 year rental. This is a ridiculous package. This is too much. You're selling the farm, folks. Do me a favor. Open your eyes and wake up. If you really think, yes, David Stearns has made some mistakes, but he's not an idiot. I mean, if he does not get this guy to sign an extension after the season because he wants to try to extend him immediately because the CBA, once again, is expiring after the 2026 season. And everyone's saying, oh, talk to his agents. His agent is Scott Boras. He's not going to do it. What does it matter? You call him anyway. You talk to him. That's his agent? Oh, well, that's his agent. You talk to him and you say, hey, we're looking to extend him immediately after the trade. What is it going to take? We know Tarik Skubal wants a $400 million contract, $250 million separation between Tarik Skubal and the Tigers. And it came out that a couple of years prior, they wanted to sign Tarik Skubal for a 4-year, $80 million contract. I don't know if you saw that, Dom, too. But
yeah.
they were already lowballing him. If the Mets cannot extend him immediately and Scott Boras says, nah, we can't give you a sufficient answer, we can't give you an absolute yes, then if anything, David Stearns knocks down the package and he goes even lower and he doesn't trade it as many prospects and MLB-ready players for a 1-year rental. And you're telling me that we're delusional and we're insane? You're fucking delusional.
100%.
If you really think he's just going to trade everybody for a 1-year rental and questionably an extension, keyword questionably, you're an idiot. So enough with this. Well, his agent, Scott Boras, he's not going to do it. No point in calling him. Stop doing your job. Don't be a GM anymore. Retire. I mean, dude, you're still going to call him. And you're going to see what you can get for him. Should the Tigers keep him? Absolutely. If you want to
100%.
contend next year before the CBA expires, yeah, I'd keep Tarik Skubal. But let's wake up a little bit here and understand that the trade package is for more than just a 1-year rental. It's to make sure that they can extend him. If they can't, they'll lower the package or they just won't trade for him. And they can go for, frankly, yes, I would love to have Tarik Skubal, but they'll go for, frankly, the guy that I really want them to go for in Freddie Peralta. And I even listed Joe Ryan behind Freddie Peralta for the top 5 pitchers that the Mets should go after in the offseason. I made it a short. It's on YouTube. It's on our channel. You can go watch it again. But Freddie Peralta and then Joe Ryan and then Tarik Skubal. That's how it goes from 1 to 3. People telling me I'm delusional. Okay. Yeah. Sure.
So I have a question.
Yeah.
You know, I've been seeing a lot of mixed comments about Pete. People are like, oh, like he's gone. Like, you know, like he's gone. Like we're not going to sign him. They didn't sign him last year. But I'm also thinking like maybe they didn't sign him just to get Soto to give him that money for the year. But now that Soto's under contract, do you still want to keep him as him being 30 years old? And maybe don't give him obviously like a 7-year deal, but how about give him like a 4-year deal?
So
and like the way that he played, I mean, he did incredible last year. And, you know, it was a prove it season and he proved himself pretty well. And I think it would be stupid for you guys for him to be gone, to
Right.
go somewhere else.
Right. Well, well, remember, Dom, what I said before. They don't have anybody ready for first base. The
No,
only
they
guy
don't.
that could maybe be ready is Ryan Clifford, but Ryan Clifford's not ready.
No.
His numbers weren't good in AAA. He honestly needs a full season, at least up until the September call-ups, to really show that he can get brought up here for first base, unless he just rakes the whole entire, whatever, say 2.5 to 3.5 months, the whole entire time in AAA. If he just hits the cover off the ball. But if he's not doing that, maybe he'll be up for September call-ups or not at all, because his
Right.
numbers were not strong in AAA this past year for the games that he played. They weren't a lot, but remember, he got called up mid-August after the Mets did all that shuffling with calling up Nolan McLean to the MLB level, promoting, all those guys, Carson Bench, Jet Williams, Ryan Clifford. So his numbers weren't great in AAA, but they don't really have anybody ready for first base. And it's funny that you
No.
mentioned the 4-year contract, because I had a community post that I wrote up and I put it out there asking people what contract you would give Pete Alonso. I don't know if you saw this at all, Dom, but if you
I
go to
did.
our channel and you slide over to posts, okay, let's just see what the voting is. I usually put them up for everything. Now I'm constantly doing the Knicks, weekly predictions. I want to see what other people would say for that too. But in regarding, this is 2 weeks ago, and the image poll that I put out, it was 4 years, 140 million, 5 years, 150 million, 6 years, 210 million, 7 years, 210 million. Out of the 27 votes, yeah, somewhat of a small sample size, but at least it's it's something. 27 votes, 56% said 4 years, 140 million. So there you go. I have a lot of other posts here regarding the Tarik Skubal thing. 13 votes, not a lot, but it's something. Trade for him this winter, 54%. Wait for him for the 2027 free agency, 46%. But regarding Pete Alonso, 56% of the 27 votes, 4 years, 140 million. So
I
other
would take
people
that
agree with
any
me.
day.
Yeah,
I would take that any day.
yeah.
I mean,
So
I know that I don't think Pete wants to go anywhere else either. I think he's found a home here. He loves his teammates. He's a great team guy. Obviously he's like, you know what, I'll try and prove myself this year, and he believed in himself, and now look what happened. He's gonna
yeah,
get a lot of money, but you just gotta hope that it's with the Mets and not with
yeah.
anybody else.
And it's the right amount of years. You know, he's a homegrown player. Mets should look to keep him. They don't really have anyone else ready. Somebody wrote to me on I think on the Tarik Skubal short, they should go get Louis Arias for first base. I was like, what? I was like, okay, he can hit, but he doesn't have the power. First base is a power position. Louis
It is.
Arias doesn't really, you know, fit in that category. He doesn't really fill the empty space from Pete Alonso very well. So I don't know about that. That was a little shocking that I read that, but whatever. It is what it
Maybe if he
is.
played second.
Right. Well,
If he
Bo
played
Bichette's a
second,
free agent. Now people are posting about Bo Bichette possibly being a Met. I'm like, I don't know about that, but he is a free agent now.
he is a free agent. I mean, and so I saw a stat where it wasn't really a stat. It was just like a projection that the Blue Jays might lose like 6 players.
Hmm.
They might lose like about 5 to 6 players in free agency.
Wow.
So I don't know how that's gonna go, but it was just like a prediction. I think it was
Hmm.
like on Bleacher Report or something. But I mean, yeah, I mean, I even saw one Toronto fan was like, I am a Toronto fan, but I'm not hooked on any of these guys. Cause he's like, I don't think any of these dudes are Canadian, which is actually like hilarious.
Yeah.
So
That
it's
is
like,
true.
do I love this team? He's like, I love this team, and like, it was a great year, and we just fell short. But it's like, why can't we get any like Canadian grown talent? But I don't know
Yeah.
anything about Canadian baseball players, so I have no idea who's Canadian, who's not. So
Right.
I
Right.
can't give you an explanation on that. But he's not wrong.
No.
But at the same time, it's like you need your key players
Mhm.
to be around Vladdy, who just signed for 500 million and
Right.
also had an amazing postseason.
Yep. Yep.
As much as I don't like that guy, you got to respect it.
Oh,
The way
yeah.
that he played in the postseason, he just went off.
Mhm.
So we'll
Absolutely.
see how it goes.
Yeah.
But one more thing about baseball, which I was trying to find,
Mhm.
Brian Hodge, a Yankee beat writer, he thinks that there's a lot of people in the Yankees organization who are willing to bring back Michael King.
Hmm.
I mean,
Hmm.
I would, even though he didn't have like an amazing year last year, but he could be a great starter for us. He could be our third or fourth guy behind Cole and Freed and possibly Rodon. If he's not the third guy, then he could be the fourth guy.
Mhm.
Brian Hodge on the Yankees, he said there are many within the organization who would welcome a reunion with Michael King. He posted a 3.44 ERA and a 4.42 FIP in 15 starts this season. I would. I
Mhm.
100% would bring him back.
Mhm.
I mean, I know we gave him up for Soto, and he was our closer, but now he turned into a starting pitcher, and we need all the starting pitching we can get. I mean,
Right.
our bullpen isn't the greatest, but we have so many bullpen guys. I
Right.
don't think we really need any more, especially now that our official closer now is Bednar, and he's a great closer. I liked him this year,
Is he
and
still is he still under contract?
Bednar,
Yeah.
yeah, he is.
Okay.
Devin Williams isn't,
See you later.
but it's very mixed with him. It's very
Mhm.
mixed fan reaction with Devin Williams because he did bounce back at the end of the year, and he did have a good postseason. He didn't really have a bad postseason at all.
Right.
So now people are like, "Oh, bring him back," and then there's some people are like, "No, like fuck him." Like, no, we should not bring him back.
Mhm.
I'm sort of confused myself. I don't know what I'd want to do with him.
Huh.
I really don't know.
Okay.
I mean, we can he can be like a seventh inning guy. I mean, I'll take him for that. Seventh, eighth inning. Actually, no, not even eighth inning. Seventh,
Mhm.
sixth, seventh inning guy. I'll take him for that.
Yeah.
But he's not going to be a closer again on this team. He better
No.
not.
No. I don't
No
see it.
shot.
No. No, I don't see that
So we'll see.
happening. Yeah. Off season just started, so a lot of things will be coming out. We'll see what happens. But that's it for the MLB. Now let's try to keep these two segments short here, Dom. Take a seat. Let's bet. So Dom, your DraftKings bet for Thursday night football and a Giants at Bears bet for the folks. What do you got?
So for the Thursday night game for Broncos against Raiders, I'm gonna
Mm-hmm.
do Ashton Genty first touchdown score plus 700. I know. I know you were looking at me weird earlier before this
Mm-hmm.
episode started.
Oh
I
yeah.
got faith. I got
All right.
faith. Brock Bowers is back. If they get the ball first, they can go down the field. I know they're going up against a good Broncos defense, but after last week, Brock Bowers gave me 43 points, 3 touchdowns, 127 yards. Who's stopping that? I don't think any defense can stop him. People forgot that he's probably the best tight end in the league right now. Yeah, he was hurt, but now he's back and better than ever. And thank God he's back because my fantasy team was doing awful. But at the end of the day, I don't think I should have picked him up in the second round, but I got nervous. I had to get him. I had to pick him up.
Mm-hmm.
But that's my fault. But Ashton Genty, if they can get down the field and get the ball first, I'll take a first touchdown score from him. And then for the Giants, I'm going to do over 24.5 plus 154 because the Bears have a terrible defense.
Yeah.
Their defense is not good, and the only thing that's holding them back that's taking them to these games to win is offense.
Mm-hmm.
So I can take it anytime. I think the Giants, they can score. They can score no matter what with Tyrone Tracy in the backfield. Uh, I'm assuming that Theo Johnson's going to score. I'm assuming Jackson Dart can run the ball in. So it's not like impossible. It's just our defense is so bad. That's why we're giving up all these points. But we're scoring. We scored 24 against San Francisco, even though it seemed like that they were destroying us, but we still able to get that off. I mean,
Mhm,
it could have been more if Darius Slayton didn't miss that touchdown pass. But hey, it's all right. It's
mhm.
okay. But I don't think the Giants are going to really win this game either. But we'll get to that in a minute. But I can picture them going over 24.5 points.
Okay. Those are solid bets. I think the Ashton Genty one is outrageous. I mean, if that actually hits, I'll be shocked. It's just the Denver Broncos pass rush is good. Um, or I should say their rushing defense. Pass rush is great too, but their rushing defense is solid. Okay, so those are Dom's DraftKings bets. Um, for me with FanDuel, Thursday Night Football, Raiders at Broncos. I got Troy Franklin anytime touchdown plus 175. Raiders pass defense is 20th in the NFL. I just think, Troy Franklin is going to have a solid game. I think he can get a touchdown. I actually picked him up in fantasy. He got me some points one of the other weeks. So that was pretty great. And the bet that I'm going to have for the Raiders, and maybe people will call me a little crazy. Honestly, the odds aren't that much on FanDuel. I'm going to say Geno Smith does not throw a single touchdown in this game, and that's under 0.5 touchdowns. That's plus 188. I know that would obviously hurt Dom a bit there. I mean, he's going with Ashton Genty, but he's got Brock Bowers in fantasy, so that would hurt him a bit. But I don't think Geno Smith scores a touchdown. As Dom just said, the Broncos' defense is good. Their passing defense is 7th in the NFL, and they're tied for the 3rd lowest amount of TDs given up with 8. So I wouldn't be surprised if Geno doesn't throw a single touchdown in that game. So that's the Raiders and Broncos. Jets versus Browns. I'm just taking one here. I'm going to say Cleveland Browns win, and it's over 36.5 total points. So that's a good little parlay there. And actually, I do remember what it was. It was plus 280. I didn't have it written down, but it was plus 280 on FanDuel. So those are our bets. That's take a seat, let's bet. Now going into take a seat, let's predict. Dom, Giants at Bears. Who do you got, and what's the score?
I got Bears over the Giants 35-26.
Hmm.
We can, the way that the Bears played last week, I can't believe that game that they came back. That was a great game to watch. If you didn't watch it, Chris, it was back and forth the entire time. And that Loveland touchdown, that was so cool to see. I didn't think they were coming back at all. I thought
Mhm,
after Cincinnati scored, I thought it was over. But they came back, and they've been playing good as of late, the Bears. So, and the Giants obviously haven't. But
mhm,
we scored. We're able to score points, the Giants, but our defense just can't stop anybody.
mhm.
So I think it can be a high scoring game. And obviously I'm going to go with the over of 24.5, and I'll say that we'll score 26 points.
Okay.
So 35-26 Bears.
All right. Jets versus Browns. I mean, I just put out a bet that the Browns are going to win and it'd be over 36.5 points. I'm still going to say the Jets lose and the Browns win. For this one, I'm going to say it's going to be Browns 20, Jets 17, and Jets go 1-8. I don't really care. They just got off a bye week the week before. They just beat the Bengals 39-38. They got their first win of the season, but one game, one win doesn't mean much to me. I think they get back on the losing train, unfortunately, and they lose to the Browns at home 20-17. So now the Knicks. Dom, you go first. Knicks versus T Wolves tomorrow night, Wednesday night. Knicks versus Nets. They have a long break until Sunday, which is good for them because they have a ton of injuries. So it's going to be Knicks versus T Wolves tomorrow night, Wednesday night. Knicks versus Nets on Sunday. And then we're just gonna do the prediction for next Tuesday. Why not? Knicks versus Grizzlies. So Dom, what's the record for that week? What do you got?
I'm gonna say 2-1. I'm gonna say that we lose. We lose to the Timberwolves, and then we beat the Nets and the Grizzlies. I think it's just very hard right now, like against really good teams, as in the Timberwolves. Well, plus you got Julius Randle and Rudy Gobert, who can rebound. You know,
Hmm.
they can rebound, they can push the floor. Well, not Gobert, but Randle can push the floor. You got Anthony Edwards, you got Dante DiVincenzo. They can shoot, they can drive, they can do everything. But the Knicks aren't healthy.
Hmm.
Is Mitch playing against against the Timberwolves? I don't think so. Josh Hart not healthy. As of right now, Cat is just not consistent enough. He has to make his threes or else we're not going to win the game. So the way I'm seeing things right now, unless everything goes right, we'll win the game, but I don't think it will. So I'll say a loss for that. And then the Nets and Grizzlies are just lost franchises. The Nets are obviously, I don't know when they're going to win the game next. The Nets are so bad. You have the team assist leader is Michael Porter Jr., which is unreal for the Nets. I know, right?
Dom, I gotta stop you. I'm sorry, Dom. I gotta stop you. Uh, Breaking news here: Sauce Gardner's traded. He just got traded
What the fuck?
for 2 first
Wait,
round
hold on.
picks.
Wait. Don't say nothing. I gotta see it myself. I gotta be more shocked. The Colts. Oh my god. For 2 first round picks. Oh my god.
That's crazy.
All right, Chris. The floor is yours. Episode's not over. What do you got to say?
Jesus Christ. And we were
Holy
gonna be
shit.
done probably within the next 5 minutes.
Less than that.
Well,
Woo!
within the next 5 minutes.
Woo!
Wow. All right. So this is the Indian out. Here you go. Breaking news just came in. Colts are trading 2 first round picks to the Jets for Sauce Gardner. Wow. I did not expect that.
Holy shit.
Holy crap. All right. Give me 1 second. Hold on. I got to
I
let
don't
this
I don't know. Like I don't know what you're about to say right now because obviously you're shocked, but also you weren't. Wait,
just wow.
did you have to take a lap?
No, I had to let my stupid cat out of my room.
Oh,
Um, she took a
thought
nap
you were
on my
walking
bed.
off your desires for a second.
No, 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 no. Wow. Okay. Well, that's shocking. And I really wonder why that happened. Don't forget, folks, they just extended Sauce Gardner over the summer, the day after they extended Garrett Wilson. That's crazy. That is absolutely insane. I mean, I'm just reading all of these texts. Now it's going crazy. I mean,
Right.
listen, 2 first round picks. I think basically why, if you're wondering why the Jets did it, I would honestly have to say the Jets, they're obviously going to look to get a quarterback. I know Fernando Mendoza's been getting thrown out there a lot, but I just think the Jets, unfortunately, they need more. And looking at how Sauce Gardner has played, and I'm going to bring it back to my hot take, Dom. Don't forget about the hot take that I formed at the beginning of the year and during the preseason. It wasn't going to be a good year for Sauce Gardner.
Yep.
And I just watched it. I saw him, and now it's I understand he's got the accolades for the beginning of his career, All Pro, Pro Bowl, but there's been a lot of people that were murmuring about how they're really calling penalties on Gardner now, and it starts making people question, was he given those awards? Was it given to him easily? Were they not calling those penalties because he was new and he was a big name and in the New York spotlight and the media? It gets you wondering, starts to make you question, how was it those first couple of seasons? Was it actually him being him, or was it the refs helping him out? Because he was getting a lot of calls. He had maybe a couple that shouldn't have been called, but that happens every week with these NFL officials. But trading for 2 first round picks, that's a big trade. And what do the Jets need? Well, they need wide receiver help, and they need more on the defense. They need a linebacker. Jamie and Sherwood is god awful. Quincy Williams is another guy that they're going to have to look to re-sign after this year. He's also going to
Mm.
be a free agent. So they got to sign guys. And they need help. And now they don't have a solidified corner. I mean, Dom, you talked about money given out to Darius Slayton and how that was a steal. Oh, we got 36 million stolen of our own. His name is Brandon Stevens, the cornerback too. So, they don't have a solidified corner now. Now, will Brees Hall get traded by the end of by 4 p.m. today? I do still think he will get traded. The Mets may be looking to clean house besides Garrett Wilson. So, Sauce Gardner is now gone. That is just crazy to think that he signed that extension in August, July or August. I believe it was August. And now September, October, November, 3 months later, he's traded. It's insane.
God.
But like I said, nobody's safe. Doesn't matter. We were talking about Michael Carter II. He signed a 3-year contract extension worth a little over $30 million. I've complained about his contract, for a couple of weeks now. And now he's gone. Nobody's safe in any league, in any sport. This is a business, but Sauce Gardner, yeah, it is a little shocking to me. Dom, what do you think about this?
Well, there's one problem. Are the Jets going to have to pay that?
It's a great question.
I
Honestly,
don't think it. I don't think it's
if
come out yet, but
I don't think it has, but if the Colts are giving up 2 first-round picks, Dom, they probably will.
that's still not good. If the Colts were able to take up that salary, or at least most of it, I'd say good trade. But if you still got to pay for that, you're back to square one still.
Yeah. I mean, listen, we were doing the whole take a seat, let's predict. I was talking about the Knicks in my take flight chat, right? It's a Jets chat. It's me, 3 of my town friends, Matt, Billy, Marco. Matt just writes, I'm not going to read the whole message because Matt's been very upset with Sauce Gardner's play this year, and he was very animated in this text. But he essentially just wrote, bye bye, Sauce. Hope the golf courses in Indiana are trash. And Matt writes 2 first-round picks. What a Jet steal. And Marco goes, wow, good. He can't tackle. And honestly, everyone in the chat, they're not really upset about it. I mean, he is still good, but as Marco said, I'll take 2 first-round picks. And yeah, so
Yeah, I mean, good for you guys that you got 2 first-round picks. Like, you guys need all the picks you can get, but if you still got to pay this guy all this money, it's still not good.
yeah, I mean, it's definitely a lot. Look, Jermaine Johnson tweeted he's shocked. It's just, listen, Indianapolis Colts are going for it. They're 7-2. I know they just lost on Sunday, but what can I tell you? The Jets are essentially, I guess starting from scratch. But 2 first-round picks. Jets need help.
Yeah.
That's big. Those are big 2 first-round picks. The Jets need another wide receiver opposite of Garrett Wilson, And I don't know if, Jermaine Johnson will be back next year. The Jets picked up his fifth-year option. Maybe he gets traded, but I don't know if there's gonna be a lot of value for him. Breece Hall, they should trade him for something. He's too talented to just let him walk. They should trade him too. But the Jets are trying to regroup, and they need help any way they can get it. A lot of people are surprised. But, what can I tell you? It is
You
what it is.
know, Daniel Jones looked like last week the New York Giants Daniel Jones. Like deer in the headlights. He looked like he didn't know what to do. Maybe, I mean, it's probably a big reach for me, but the way they saw him play on Sunday, maybe they're like, all right, we gotta get help everywhere else. Maybe this is like the start of the downfall for Daniel Jones. But also at the same time, last game, they barely gave Jonathan Taylor the ball. Has Jonathan Taylor been saving Daniel Jones's ass all year? Daniel Jones has been playing good, but are people forgetting that Jonathan Taylor is having an absolutely incredible year? Seems like
Mhm.
he's scoring at least 2 touchdowns a game. Maybe they're just trying to get all the help they can get for
So,
Daniel Jones, and they're trying to go for it all,
yeah,
improve their defense, improve in every
yeah.
other aspect they could.
I mean, Dom, it's not a bad idea. It's just 2 first-round picks for the, you know, performance that Sauce Gardner has put on for the Jets so far this season. That's a lot. I'm sorry, it's a lot. 2 first-round
It
picks
is.
is ballsy. He has not had a solid year, and that is why my hot take has moved towards a lukewarm or cold take, because every week I watch Sauce Gardner, he's getting burned. He's getting now called for DPI or illegal use of the hands, something. It's always gone against him. I just want to do this quick, Dom. So the Knicks weekly prediction, you went 2-1. Is that I just
Two
want to
and
wrap
one.
this 2-1. All right. I'm gonna go 2-1 as well. I know you were talking about the Grizzlies. I'm just gonna keep this short. I just want to finish up with the Jets thing right now, the big news. But the Knicks versus Grizzlies, I mean, dude, John Morant looks completely toast. I mean, he looks so
Yeah,
checked out. Talk about checked out players. I mean, John Morant is checked out. He literally said that he doesn't find the joy in basketball right now with Memphis. And so I think the Knicks beat the Grizzlies next Tuesday. I know I'm going from Tuesday to now, but the Knicks versus Nets, they win that. But I'm going to say, honestly, the Knicks lose to the T Wolves on Wednesday. So I'm going to say Knicks go 2-1. Dom says 2-1. Dom, you also have the same win loss. It's T Wolves loss, Nets win, Grizzlies win.
yep.
Okay, great. So that's that for take a seat. Let's predict. So I just wanted to get that done and out of the way. But yeah, going back to the Jets news, dude, I still think Brees Hall is going to get traded. I think the Colts gave up a lot for Sauce Gardner. But as you said, they want to go for it. Jonathan Taylor's looked fantastic. Ex Giant Daniel Jones looks like Danny Dimes over there. Um, and that female owner, she's been taking notes on what the Colts need to do better week to week. She's putting a lot of work in. And you
She
gotta
is.
think that's helping their performance right now. So the Colts are doing everything they can, and they're doing everything right. They got spanked by the Titans, or I'm sorry, no, they beat the Titans. The way that ESPN sets this up, it's like annoys me, dude. I go on, it's like the way
Chris,
they lay it out. They lost to the Steelers by 7 this past Sunday. Um, Keeps on confusing me, but yeah, the Colts. I mean, dude, they're going for it. Right, like, as you said, they wanna fix up their defense, and, their offense is good this year.
wait, Chris, I hate to interrupt you, but Ian Rappaport just said the Colts get Sauce Gardner for the next 5.5 years under a contract worth 131.5 million, taking out what the New York Jets already paid. 625,000 for the remainder of 200 for 2025 and an average of 26.1 million for the next 5 years.
Hmm.
So you guys aren't paying.
Well, wow, that's crazy. So we're not
That's
paying the guy.
great for you. That's great for you guys.
Look, Sauce Gardner got 4 years, 120 million extension 3 months ago from this regime. It was August. NYJ Matt, who I talked about last week with the season ticket prices. Could you imagine? Raise season ticket prices and you traded Sauce Gardner? Yeah, not having a great season, but he was supposed to be a cornerstone piece that they extended. Wow. So for 2 first round picks and they're not paying.
That's a great
That's
trade for you
wild.
guys. That's a great trade for you guys then. You know, can I see Sauce Gardner going off for the rest of the year? Yeah. But I mean it because it has to do with two things. It has to do with Sauce just probably not having any energy or motivation on the Jets. Now you're going to a 7-2 team. Plus, they have obviously better defensive players than the Jets. So his supporting cast will help him a lot too.
Mhm.
So I
For
could
sure.
picture Sauce having a good rest of the year.
Yeah.
I
I
don't
mean,
know about
listen,
you.
hey, yeah, change of scenery does a lot for people. And a
Yeah,
change of scenery for him could definitely help him out and affect him positively. I mean, listen, honestly, I don't wish any negative, you know, outlook or harm or performance on Sauce Gardner. He's, not a bad guy, right? He put his years in here, you know, whatever it is, 3.5 seasons. Would it have been great if the Jets could figure it out and, they kept giving him support on the defensive end of the field? Yeah, sure, but listen, Darren Muji, it's his first year. He didn't draft Sauce Gardner. He didn't draft Brees Hall. He didn't draft Garrett Wilson. He didn't draft JJ. He didn't draft Michael Clemens. All these guys he didn't draft, and he wanted some sort of hefty, valuable compensation back. And, he got 2 first round picks and he's saving money. Like, it's pretty damn good. I don't know how much more you could ask trading away a guy like Sauce Gardner. So, I mean, I'm still, you're looking at your phone. I'm still looking at mine. I'm wondering if anything else is coming out.
yeah.
Adonai Mitchell is going back to the Jets in return. Also, a wide receiver. Um, I
You're
mean, some
getting.
immediate reactions. NYJ Matt immediate reaction. I don't like it. I mean, honestly, I'm good with it. So
I like it, especially that you guys don't have to pay, and you guys are getting the 2026 and 2027 first round picks.
right,
So
yeah,
at least it's not like a 2029 pick.
right, exactly.
I like this trade for you guys, especially because you guys aren't paying. If you guys were paying, I wouldn't have liked it.
Yeah, I mean, wow, that's insane. Imagine if we had ended at an hour and 15 minutes. We would have just missed this.
Yep.
I mean, we always just miss something. We
I
can't
know.
stay on the can't stay can't stay on the you know, on the podcast all day. But wow, this is nuts. This is crazy. So, all right. Well, let's see what happens with Quinn and Williams and Brees Hall. I wonder if they keep on, shelling out people.
Sauce Gardner tweeted, "New York, it's been real," with a green heart.
Oh wow. Look at this. So Matt actually said that my friend Sam, his younger brother Joe, actually told Matt, he goes, we call him, so Sam and Joe, we hang out with both of them. We call him Schmo. We put the names together. Unless Schmo, aka Schefter Cantino, didn't say something. For some reason, Cantinos always see this shit first. I don't know how. So shout out to Joe Cantino, I guess. He's the first person who said something.
Wow.
That's crazy. You know what? Darren Muji, he's made some moves. He's trying. He's doing what he can. I can't completely shit on him. I mean, I know obviously he came in with a somewhat of a depleted roster, but DJ Reed already wasn't back to start, and a lot of other different things. But I don't know. I mean, can you do any better than that trade? See what you get for possibly Quinn and Williams, and I still think Brees Hall will get traded. I don't know. Who knows? I'll be freaking shocked if Garrett Wilson's traded too, but I don't think that's gonna happen, dude.
No, I could see more of Brees Hall than Garrett Wilson. And then also with the Giants, they're asking for so much. I mean, like other teams, like for Jalen Waddle, they're asking for a first. They're same with Olave, they're asking for a first. I don't even know if the Giants are gonna want to do that because as of right now, projected, we're number 5 right now. We have the 5th spot in the first round,
Hmm.
and I don't think the Giants would want to give that up because obviously I can't see us winning many more games. The most maybe 2
Yeah,
that we can win.
yeah. This is Connor Rogers, who I value his takes, immensely. This trade makes a ton of sense for both sides. Sauce is a really good player that fills a huge need at CB1 for a contender in the Colts, a team that Ballard has been trying to build for a long time. For the Jets, they will be taking a QB at the top of next year's draft. You need more assets to build the right infrastructure on offense around that player, i.e., what I mentioned, a wide receiver too, opposite of Garrett Wilson, if he's not
Hmm.
traded.
Of course.
Because who the hell knows now? Everyone's on the table, I feel like. That matters more than anything else long term. It's very early, but using that extra first on a strong wide receiver class would be logical. That's what I mean. The Jets need another wide receiver, and it is a good wide receiver class, and they need all the help they can get, as Dom always says about the Giants. Are you hearing anything about the Giants, Dom, while we're sitting here practically? It's like a freaking live episode.
The only thing I'm seeing is that like Josina Anderson is saying that the Giants would like to trade Evan Neal by today, obviously, and then some sarcastic asshole commented, "Well, they can't do it tomorrow," and then she said, "Yes, but they could not do it at all or next season, but you'll see in a moment." So maybe they are cooking up something of trading Evan Neal, or maybe or another player that they're trying to trade. And then this guy
Hmm.
said, "Next season? Question mark. He is on the final year of his contract. They're gonna sign him just to trade him away." Then Josina Anderson said, "Just stand by. I don't have sarcasm font to make things clearer. Have a good day." So
People really just want to test people. It's like crazy.
maybe they are trying to do something, but
Honestly, at this point now, I mean, the crazy thing is they just traded for him. But Jarvis Brownlee Jr. is the best cornerback the Jets have now.
yep,
That's it.
you are correct.
That's crazy. He is now the cornerback one. It ain't Brandon Stevens, I can assure you. And Azareye'h Thomas isn't really ready for that kind of stature. So
Oh yeah, definitely.
wow. All right. Well, I guess it was good it came out when we were towards the end, because honestly, after the Knicks weekly prediction, it was just gonna be anything to say, Don, before I wrap up today's episode.
Yeah.
So there's that. I mean, I would love to stay on here for the whole day, but you know, we got other things to do.
Yeah.
So anything else you'd want to say regarding really everything we've talked about today?
So like I said, don't Knicks fans don't take this W against the Wizards as like a oh we're back moment. We're not. We still have a lot of work to do. It's going to be a big test against the Timberwolves. With the Yankees, they better extend Bellinger. Go for both, like I said, because why not? Go for it. Go for the big fish. Go do it. Go be aggressive like how we used to be. And with the Giants, even though I just read that off about Josina Anderson, maybe that could be the only trade we do today with Evan Neal, but we'll literally get nothing. Where we get like a 6th or 7th rounder. Like we're literally gonna get nothing. Other than that, I can't picture us trading a first or multiple picks for Jalen Waddle or anyone like that. So I can't picture it, but I could be wrong. I mean, I don't think Chris was expected for Sauce to be gone today, so you never know.
Yeah, you don't know. I mean, for me, yeah, the Knicks just gonna have to take time. If they win Wednesday, that's a statement win for the season going forward. I would love for them to pull that out. Anything's possible. Today's the perfect day to say that with Sauce Gardner getting traded for 2 first-round picks. So anything is possible. For the Jets, maybe for the fans who don't love this trade with Sauce Gardner and maybe don't understand it, folks, it's not like they drafted him and a year, 2 years later he got traded. He got extended. He was approaching 4 years, right? Completing the 4-year rookie deal when you get drafted in the NFL. They gave it a shot. You know, unfortunately, they never had the solid quarterback, the sustainable cornerback to make this work. And Darren Muji is a new GM. It's his first year. He's trying to make a statement. He's trying to rebuild, bring a winning, not just a positive, but a winning culture. And I guess he saw this as, the first big step on doing that. And this is what he needed to do. He got 2 first-round picks, as Dom already said. And I read from multiple sources, first round for 2026 and then first round for 2027. They need help. And they need to do what they need to do. And, honestly, with this trade of Sauce Gardner, I'm sorry. If I'm a football player on the Jets, I'm checking my phone until 4:01 because anybody could be traded.
Yep.
So we'll see what happens for the last, what is that? Trying to do math here. 2 hours and 46 minutes. We'll see what else happens. 4:00 p.m. Eastern is when the trade deadline's over. But that's it. 2 hours and 45 minutes left. Until it's done, we'll see what happens. But that's all I got, really. Dom, anything else?
All good.
All right, man. Well, that's going to do it for us today. Thank you to everyone for tuning in to today's episode of the FTB podcast on either YouTube, Spotify, or Apple Podcasts.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate it.